the show where the funniest bits have possibly already happened, mainly because we might not be able to repeat many of them. This is the most likely show that we're going to get banned, cancelled, or something. But thank you for
Yay.
joining us. At last, he said they've been cancelled.
We keep on trying.
That
We've
makes us
tried
sound
it.
like we're actually scripted, and we're not.
No, there's never been a script. There's the occasional note, and I have actually got a notebook. This has got all the. There you go. There's a review.
That's
This has got
professional
all-
looking, Rick. I'm
This has
proud of
got
you.
all notes from all the shows from show number
Wow.
85 onwards. That is.
I
So
like
it is
that.
actually.
You
It's actually
write
something.
down what solely exists in the digital realm. I like this, but I do have questions.
Yeah. Well, what would your questions be? I have a fax machine.
Do you fax it to yourself when you're
I
done?
fax it in order to I fax it off site in order to make sure that it's securely stored for means. Maybe what I should do at the end is I should auction. What do you think? In fact, there are so many things to talk about this week. Very few of them have anything to do with actual watches. But one of the things I did notice is who is it? Is it Christie's? Phillips, I think it is, are doing an auction during Geneva Watch Days, I think, whereby they're not auctioning any watches. Maybe I should get them to auction this.
What are they auctioning if it's not?
They're auctioning watch adjacent
Rick's
stuff,
estate.
as I understand it.
So this is like every
Auction
Rolex
this book.
keychain from like the 90s Basel World era or something.
Yeah, remember the Rolex spoons? I don't know if they still have them or not.
I mean, they do, but it's like at Rolex. That's
I'm
not
going to give an
something like-
analogy. The auction world has said, don't just go to a museum and appreciate stuff, but we're going to compel you to buy everything you see.
That's right. We're empty. This is what the British were so good at for hundreds of years.
I was going to say.
What have we got that belongs to Hungary in a British museum? Is there anything the Hungarians are particularly passive aggressive about that we might have stolen from you back in the day? The Greeks are upset with us. We've got some stones.
Yeah, I think I seem to recall that there was Saint Stephen's hand that was lost, and it's literally 1,000-year-old hand, and somebody gave it back to us from somewhere. That I seem to recall
Definitely
that.
from somewhere in Britain is what we're saying.
It probably was in the
Yeah,
National
yeah.
History Museum. Holy Right Hand was returned to Hungary on the 20th of August, 1945, after being hidden in Austria. All right. It's a
so
mummified
Austrians.
hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not our
The
fault.
best
Yeah.
kind
We'll
of
dig
hands.
into that at some other time.
The
So
best kind of
we'll
hands.
sell off the
mummified.
book the same way Hodinkee sold the knife from their first talking watches. Don't remember that, but that sounds like a good idea. How much did they get for it? Breaking new beats in the chat. Right, we're going to begin. We're going to have a clap in. Welcome.
And it's
to
going
the
to. Who has earned the clap?
Okay.
Say it, Rick.
Right. Well,
It's a
welcome-
logical place to get the clap.
Right. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. There are some contenders this week for the clapping. I'm going to start with Frank Muir. So let's give it and then we're going to go to Swatch. Let's just start by clapping in because we might not be able to contain ourselves, or we might actually have keeled over laughing or been cancelled by the time we get to the end. So let's just start by clapping. So a start clap, a preemptive clap for Frank Muir and Swatch.
Audio
And
engineers know nothing about, don't know what to do with this clapping.
One audio engineer in particular doesn't know what to do with this clapping. Thank you, Hayden, for wading through this gibberish each week. So Frank Muir sent specifically Ariel. I think I'm curious as to did Ripley? Did you get this press release?
I did. I was excited to see this one come in. It was not what I expected. But
David, did you get this press release?
Yep.
Well, I didn't. Now, I think that clearly speaks volumes. I'm not sure it speaks volumes of. So here we go. I'm just going to read this out. Frank Muir unveiled the Vanguard Crazy Hours Jizz Bar in Lisbon.
Before you continue, is this a watch or is this a red light district establishment? Listeners, you haven't seen the photo.
What happens during the crazy hours at the Jizz Bar?
In Lisbon?
In any city.
I'm just going to sit back and let you guys continue because the jokes make themselves, frankly. Yeah.
Who is the vanguard of the Jizz Bar?
How does one lead
You meet him at the door. It's just by the entrance usually.
There's a hole in the wall.
I want to know if Louis Monet actually started selling Jean Marie's jackets.
Through Sotheby's or Christie's or whatever it is.
At the Jizz Bar.
I will find you some photos of this.
Can the AI make a song which features the term Jizz Bar in Lisbon?
Probably not. I imagine that
the Crazy Hours Jizz Bar.
Give it a real regional flair to it.
It's not open when you expect them to be, but
when do you expect them to be open?
It's the Crazy Hours Jizz Bar. That's the point. 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
I will share a picture of this watch so we can appreciate it. Let me just find the JPEG. There we go. So this is the watch.
Finally a Jizz Bar I can wear on my wrist.
Yeah.
I was pointing out the 9 suspicious.
It's all suspicious. Let's face it. How on earth? Okay, imagine the scene. I mean, what? Presumably they invited a couple of serious people to this watch launch.
No, they didn't.
No, did anyone get this? Was launched in April, according to the press release, 1st of April. So I had to go back and check that this wasn't an April Fool joke that we just haven't gotten until now. That it's not like been sitting in somebody's outbox at. I
think they just really ran with the term crazy. They're just like, it has the word crazy in it.
It just came a bit late. I guess no one's dared to blacklight it yet, right?
Here's what I'm afraid of. If Ulysses Nardon ever visits the Jizz Bar and decides to,
have a freak at the Jizz Bar.
Have a freak on.
Freak Jizz Bar collab.
The Jizz Bar Freak on by Ulysses Nardon.
Well, fun fact about Jizz Bar is a French artist who splits his time between French and Lisbon. So that's why it's the Crazy Hours Jizz Bar in Lisbon.
Can you explain why it's ugly, though? Anything about his bio? Get into that.
He's done a lot of prestigious collaborations.
If you think I am Googling, you think I'm putting into Google the word Jizz Bar in order to find the artist's website?
That's a job for Chives. If there's ever been one.
Chives. Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. Let's find the Frank Muller website. Right. So this is.
It's like Frank trying Muller. To be a graffiti watch, but like if you were that graffiti artist that did this, all the other graffiti artists would beat you up. Like growing up in LA, you see some nice graffiti, and you're like, no, those kids, no one talked to them. They had no artistic skills. They're basically vandals with spray cans.
So,
who is the Jizz Bar?
I
believe it's the gentleman on the left with the camera and like the safari shirt
with the Jean-Marie Schaller jacket.
No. That wonderful jacket belongs to the Frank Muller team. I believe Jizz Bar is that.
Oh, is that the CEO? No, wearing jackets like that.
Yes.
Boy, I don't know what that says about it, man. He was wearing blue suits when I last met him.
Boris, if you think I'm putting that chat message in the public chat, you can forget it.
That guy looks like he's dressed like Hunter S. Thompson without any of the personality.
Waco Collection 2026 right there on the shirt.
Yeah, I don't know what.
So for a gentleman who creates such colorful art, I'm surprised he's largely dressed in khaki.
He's hiding in plain
he has
sight.
to create a resting point for his eyes at some point.
There we go. There's the Frank Muller. It is real. It's on the Frank Muller website, and it's still there. You can go and invest.
Look at all the free press we're giving the brand that refuses to advertise with anyone.
Well, I'm sure they're happy to hear about their Crazy Hours Jizz Bar in Lisbon, which, by the way, is available in multiple different materials. You can have it in rose gold, carbon, titanium, black titanium, or stainless steel. So they're all between like 23.7 and 33.3. They're pretty expensive. I mean, the Jizz Bar seems to be high end, but they're clearly going all in on it. This isn't just like kind of a one-off thing.
Here's what I don't understand. Is this a sign that the CEO has too much freedom or far too little freedom? It's one of the two. I don't know what it is.
Maybe an interview with Jizz Bar in Lisbon with the CEO might
I think a hands-on with this watch is what somebody, not me,
Swatch would
is
not touch this
writing.
guy.
Well, that leads us nicely on to Swatch. You think? After
I think Swatch would not touch this guy.
Right. Let's see if. So let's first of all go to the BBC, because this is one of those rare things whereby
we can sort a reputable news channel.
Yeah, from Frank Muir to reputable news channel. Swatch, very sorry for slanted eyes ad after China uproar. Now, China uproar, I'm not sure how.
I was surprised just how much of a slanted eyes ad it actually was.
I don't have the BBC.
I thought maybe there'd be like a vague graphic that you could sort of interpret, but no, it's like full on.
Oh yeah, it's full on. Yeah, they're not kidding around.
Were they trying to go for something else? Was this like, hey, model, look contemplative, and he wasn't sure what to do?
I mean,
but just picture for a second how many people have this passed through and got an approval from before it got posted.
Did anybody in China see it?
I don't think it jumped off the SD card of the photographer and onto the social media channel right away, right? So there must have been some people involved.
I mean, but the question is, either they didn't know that it would be seen that way, or they were actually full on leaning into that. I don't know which one it is.
They had no idea. They were clueless. I think that's sort of like, sure. I mean, it's insulting anyway, but it's still, and it's bad. But at the same time, I feel somehow it's just a really good explanation that they were utterly clueless.
What was
to
the photographer going for? Was it that? Like, what was the art direction here? Like,
what images didn't make the cut? Because you know how these work. There's like 100,000 images. What was like? Oh, that might be interpreted.
What were they telling the model to do, or what was the model thinking? Or what awkward thing did they catch him in like mid frame? And he's like, "Why did you use that one? I was rubbing my temples. I had a headache." Like, what was going on?
No, it's Professor X from the X-Men. Is this not Professor X? That's why it says make like Professor
Look like
X
you're moving the watch with your mind. And then they're like, yeah,
let's
do that one.
Let's do that one. And then this happened. And then nobody noticed. Ripley, you are of, what would be the correct term that's not also going to get me cancelled?
I'm not sure.
Term for what?
Well, you're Japanese.
He's elongating his eyes to make him look more stereotypical. I don't know.
I'm not the arbiter on all of this.
But you're the only one that's of Japanese heritage in this conversation.
I'm not sure that the model was even thinking that. Like, there's a plausible way of looking at it. No one noticed it until it was like too late or something.
No, I mean, there's going to be all sorts of unflattering and not okay shots taken during a shoot with live people. What's more amazing is, like David mentioned, this didn't jump off of someone's memory card right on to the Instagram page. This passed through lots of rounds of approvals and rejections and touch-ups, and a lot of different people saw this before it was presented in a formal press packet at a big company like this. So I don't think that it's that the image was taken itself. It's that they chose to go with this one in a small handful from a large contact that was probably taken that day.
Yeah. So marketing jail this week is Swatch Group.
And the Chinese customers are reportedly, as reported by the BBC, are furious. They want to cancel the brand. They want to stop buying it. They want it out of China and all the rest of it. So it's gone out of control real fast. Which is when I first thought this, I thought it was some virtue signaling from non-Asian people trying to force Swatch into a corner or make them look bad. But apparently it's the Chinese customers.
Right. Okay.
And look at it this way: someone had to spend all the time to make that to cut this guy out of a background and put it on this pink gradient. There was a lot of time when someone was looking at this and going, "Should I just tell them this probably isn't one you want to use?"
Oh man,
I don't. Have we actually seen the? Let me just check and see what the situation is. Does the advert itself actually display what it is that the guy is looking at? I'm just trying to find the actual.
No, never. It's just gazing.
We're lucky if he's wearing a watch. We can identify.
No, there is a watch. There is a watch. There is a watch. This is the full advert here. Our selection of men's watches features all the styles one could ever need, From stainless steel sleek watches to sporty, bigger, and bolder designs, you can bet your next swatch is just around the corner. And that's the advert that they used. So was this used specifically in the Chinese market, or was this just Swatch? Well, I mean, it's an English
global,
advert, so
probably.
presumably it was just global Swatch, and then
Yeah.
somebody noticed.
I feel bad for whoever has found this genuinely offensive. I do genuinely feel bad, but I also feel like at some point, sometimes some people get like are just looking for the next great opportunity to be upset about something. So if this post has affected you in your life, negatively or offended you at some point, then seeing it again is of course a terrible experience to go through. But at the same time, the internet is full of virtue signaling people who are like, oh, well, here I am offended. Look how sensitive I am, and that's the other side of things that sometimes blows things out of proportion.
Very weird. But we're here to report what
the sad thing is
going on.
I don't know that Swatch, of course, tried to do anything like this. There's a very small chance that we're trying to be like, yeah, that's the facial expression. The framing had a big part to do with this. Someone took this picture, cropped just the part which is like, the most offensive looking.
Yes.
Look at this.
And my fear is that like brands are gonna be like, we need to go back to just having like 100% doctored images of just watches on our website. Like we can't even dare have people that look like anything. Because it's true, it doesn't matter what types of people you feature, you're going to piss someone off. It's like guaranteed. Yeah. I don't care what they look like, who they are, what variety you have. At the end of the day, maybe you'll just be criticized for having a natural variety. Whatever it is, no one is safe from some type of criticism. All markets have done this before. I've definitely read articles on the BBC where other European luxury brands have upset people in Asia. This is a known thing. I think consumers there are looking out for it. I think they see it being a privilege of doing business over there. And I think that the consumers there are very savvy and pay a huge amount of attention to detail. So this sort of comes with the territory. So I don't know it's the biggest faux pas in the world, but it does make them look dumb. But I remember, who was it? A bunch of the Italian fashion brands like routinely piss off the consumers over there. So
oh yeah.
What I think is funny is that no matter how much that happens, and even though it makes the news, they refuse to hire like one local to be like, do you think these pictures are okay before we show them to people that live where you live? Like they won't do that, and which is hilarious.
Yeah, they asked their office in China about it. Unfortunately, their office in China is fully staffed by people from Switzerland. Not a single local Chinese.
They only listen to ourselves. We are Swiss.
At least not one that's senior enough to go, no, just no.
Yeah,
that would get you fired. If you said no to an ad that was already produced, you'd basically be fired as Swatch Group.
Yeah, I just want to know whether there is a version of this that's actually not a Chinese model doing this, that they had a selection of, and somebody said no, actually no, just
it would be even you cannot make this any better. It's very easy to make it worse, Rick.
Yeah, absolutely worse to make it worse, easy to make it worse. Right, let's talk about also not really watch news, more tariff news. Ariel, you've produced a little article. According to Ariel, a watch buyer's guide to dealing with tariffs and trade wars. I wonder if Swatch are now not exporting as many watches to China apparently in the last week. Does that mean price cuts for the rest of us, more stock flowing into America?
I think one of the easiest things to say is it's extremely difficult to determine exactly what will happen. How these prices are even going to be levied or passed on to the consumer is going to vary wildly. Even in just the last few weeks, brands have abruptly shifted stance about how they're going to apply the tariffs or pass on the cost fully. And in weeks, months, or years, I think most people feel like these tariffs will go away because they're ultimately, I think, designed to serve a different political purpose and not make more money from the sale of luxury goods. It's important to recognize that most of the types of goods that tariffs apply to are not the types of goods that it actually costs less to go and travel and buy because of those price hikes. So watches are one of the few things amongst the larger, huge assortment of things that tariffs would apply to that come in the United States that a consumer might ostensibly say, well, 39% increase or whatever increase, it makes more sense for me to travel and go buy it. For most things that math doesn't work out, but for a watch, it really could. So the watch industry needs to understand that it's affected in sort of a unique way, and it just has to pivot. People will travel more to buy watches. That will be a thing. And once those watches are in the United States, you don't have to declare them. It's not like there's a customs duty. It's not like there's a VAT. So like you can bring watches in from time to time, and then when you get bored, sell them. And then those, you don't have to. That's great for the resale market. You don't have those tariffs don't really apply. So it's not doom and gloom. My fear, of course, is that it will be a reason for brands to not spend, not invest, sit and wait. And I think that they see the American political landscape as being moving so fast that there's a legitimate argument to make. If we just sit on our hands and do nothing, maybe things will clear up. So I think that there will be brands that ignore this and continue to work in the market and do well, and maybe a lot of brands that miss out because of their own latent concern for what it's going to be like to do business.
It was being queried in the YouTube chat for the last episode. Remember, you can see these episodes on YouTube, either live recording, A Blog to Watch Weekly Live, or the edited version on the main A Blog to Watch YouTube channel. It's been queried in the chat as to what the situation was if you bought a watch in Switzerland or the UK, because the UK would make the most sense to buy in because the tariff rate's 10%. But do you not need to do anything declaration-wise when you enter the States?
I haven't heard anything. I could be wrong, but I've not heard anything. And again, a tariff
is a tariff rather than is it a cost? I don't. So is stuff being stopped at the airport? Presumably,
when you buy something and you bring it with you back home, is that considered? Are you importing something in the United States? I don't know where the lines are drawn. I know, but Europe doesn't have tariffs. They have VATs and stuff. Look, I'm not saying it's not. Though. I'm not going to say it's not happen. It may not happen that way. I'm just saying in all my research and reading, I've seen nothing about that at all.
Right. Okay. Well, if you happen to be a customs expert in the United States, do let us know. You can email us podcast@ablogtowatch.com. Any more signs of consequences? Hearing anything from brands about what they're doing? Obviously, we saw Christopher Ward put their prices up effectively just to match the tariff rate. Anything else from brands in the last week? Chats or good juicy gossip as to what's going on and how they're responding?
I'm trying to get signals myself. The consensus is that a lot of the people at brands are still on their European vacations, and
they're all in Lisbon apparently with Frank Mueller, but that's a different story.
They need to come back to work, chat about it, actually see what's happening before they have some type of response. So in a sense, it's a bit too early to see, how they're going to act, but they definitely have an opinion.
Ripley, David, picking up any smoke signals from any of the brands about tariffs?
Well, I feel like they're just waiting it out. I mean, it's been so volatile. Sometimes the tariffs were introduced and then put on hold, and then now they're back. I believe that many of the brands shipped large volumes of watches, just in time or right before these would apply into the States. So I think it's just a waiting game at this point and try and see if it goes away for whatever reason.
Okay, right, let's have a look at a couple of watches. At last, you've tuned in for the first half an hour and you're like, can we talk about some watches? Well, now is our chance. Let's go to this, reviewed by Ripley. The Formex Essence 41mm Space Ghost watch. I'm a big fan of Formex, but what did you think of this particular iteration?
It's really cool. So they had a 41mm before. It was just the Essence Leggera, which is their like carbon composite ceramic lightweight one. The standard stainless steel Essence, kind of their flagship model, previously was only in 39mm and 43mm. 41's a really logical size, so they've made that. Now, it's not really just the same watch in a new size. They've done a lot of really, really subtle updates that you'd not tell at all by looking at the watch. For example, for the first time on one of the steel models, you have a screw down crown. They first introduced it on this full ceramic skeleton one. Now it's making its way over to the steel models. Still has this same case suspension system, but now the crown screws down, same depth rating and everything, but it's something people have been asking for. The butterfly style clasp includes a extension system. It's very similar to kind of what you get on like a modern Patek Nautilus, where each side kind of pulls out a little bit and can just be pushed back together. Really elegant, doesn't make it too much thicker. The previous one already had extension. And then we get to the screws. The bracelet screws might be my favorite part, and we're going to get into the weeds and get a little nerdy here. But instead of being a pin and collar or standard single-sided screw, or even the infuriating approach Omega uses, where it's a free-floating pin set between two tiny screw caps that sit on either end, what Formex has engineered is this multi-component single-piece screw. So you get a solid bar that actually serves as the connection point, and then attached with a small axle to one end is a small screw. It goes in like a normal screw, can be unscrewed like a normal screw. But what the advantages of this is, because the bar that secures the links floats freely from the actual threads, it's not going to loosen up over time. So these don't need any type of thread locker or Loctite or whatever. Additionally, because the bar itself is free floating, if you do need to break the pin and remove the screw, it's going to be easier. But it's really nice that the tension's easy to get. It's actually quite easy to use. It just performs like a regular single-sided screw, but it does have these advantages. Now this one, you get a meteorite dial with some nice blued hands and markers as well, and you can get on a strap or bracelet. And it's negligibly more than the regular models. And it just, if you've seen any of their other modern meteorite dials, the whole dial is made from a piece of meteorite rather than a piece of meteorite stuck on a flat surface. So this allows them to bevel the date wheel, punch the hole straight through it, solder the dial feet to it. So it's a really cool watch, not necessarily revolutionary, but really more evolutionary. This is much more the Rolex way, where at a glance it looks similar, but once you start getting into the weeds, it's very much a generational update, not just a new size.
How many watches have we collectively damaged trying to resize the bracelet? I've certainly, or how many fingers have you poked with a very sharp screwdriver in the process of trying to resize a bracelet? I have caused myself significant injuries in the past. I don't know about either.
It's been a while, maybe once or twice.
It's just a weird thing that it's not a good system generally. Most watches have a terrible system for resizing bracelets. You spend 800 quid on a watch, which is both a lot of money and not a lot of money, but proportionally, you then have to take it to some watch guy or girl in order to resize the bracelet, which costs you an additional 60 quid or something for them to take it away and try and get it right. It just seems like something like this.
Is that what it costs? I've never known what a bracelet sizing job costs.
Yeah, certainly in my experience, somewhere between 35 and 60 quid. It depends how
I've only ever done it myself.
Because you might have to leave it with them while they figure it out, some of the tools that are required or the people. It's been suggested Cartier have a good screw system that's easy to use.
Theirs just doesn't need tools. The Cartier one is like a copy basically from the Apple Watch.
Chives has entered the chat and is suggesting that what you need is a watch butler.
Yes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There you go. So Chives is now live in.
That's going to be my retirement career.
Weekly chats. There you go. Welcome, Chives. We're glad you made an appearance. So Formex, what's your thoughts on the brand in general? Are they on the up? I kind of feel like we should be doing a stock ticker on brands at the moment as to who's on the rise, who's steady, and who's on the decline. So Formex, are they climbing, going steady, or sloping on the decline?
Man, you want this to be an investment show, don't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say people might think this it has to do with investments.
Investments, right? Come on, tell me, on the rise, hold steady, or sell? Buy, hold, or sell?
Well, they're not as boring as Omega.
Just enjoy.
Just enjoy. So a hold. Do we think? Are we expecting great things? I'm genuinely curious.
No, I mean,
I think there's so many brands at the moment that are swapping places. Not just in terms of the watch, which could be a hit and miss, or maybe in terms of the whole feeling.
Formex is not asleep. It's a brand which is moving. You can tell from year to year they're making improvements. They're still obviously trying to figure things that every brand is, but I think they're making improvements and they're making people happy. This is, anyway, you didn't ask me yet, but I mean, they're like, again, the reason I compared to Omega appears to be doing very little, yet they have the resources do a lot. Brands like Formex, you're like, wow, they're doing so much being so small. That's awesome.
So Omega's a sell and Formex is a buy. This is not investment advice.
Yeah, I think this is when brands do something that isn't flashy but creates a tangibly better product, and not necessarily one that's even gonna make itself obvious at a first impression, but for long-term ownership, like screws that don't need fixative on them. I think that shows that the brand isn't just trying to make sales, they're also trying to make a better watch. That's the type of stuff you do when you're actually interested in making a better product, because if you took that watch to be sized by someone, you're never going to even notice that it has these cool screws. You're just going to notice that at no point did they ever like loosen themselves out. If anything, the person who's going to appreciate it is that guy you paid 30 or 60 quid to size the bracelet on. But that's kind of like everything we like about watchmaking, where when the brands make a movement, they're designing it not just to run really well, but also designing it to come apart and go back together really well. They're designing it for future watchmakers as well. So I think that's a really positive sign. And I've never looked at a Formex and been like, that's outrageously priced for what it is. The case construction alone on these Essence models is exponentially more complex than what you get with like a standard 3-4 part case.
Yes, if you've never experienced this has got the articulated case on it, I assume.
Yeah, that suspension thing and all of that.
Suspension case. So if you've never experienced the suspension case in a Formex, it's well worth trying to hunt one out. I've never been quite convinced that it actually does anything other than be cool. But then I would wear a Panerai with a little clippy thing at the side.
Sounds like you've been convinced it's cool.
I think it is very cool.
It is comfy. I'm not going to hit my watch enough to test its shock resistance, but what I notice is that because the case itself flexes, if you do wear the bracelet a bit tighter rather than looser and don't want to use the extension, that little bit of give where the case back can bounce inward a bit doesn't make it feel like it's constricting.
Yep. So go and hunt out a Formex if you've never tried one on. The very much worth exploring the brand. Right. We'll play buy, hold, or sell on this brand as well. This is from Oris, the New York Harbor limited edition.
The fact that there's a second watch for the New York Harbor, the most
we didn't clean it. It's still dirty.
We didn't raise enough money last time.
It's worse now.
But the watch is pretty.
The watch is cool. The watch is very nice. I do like these Orises. Again, it's a brand where the brand name is on the strap. Therefore, as a Panerai wearer, it's an immediate, I like this. I don't know why, but I think it's really cool. It is a mother of pearl dial, apparently, that's been coloured. I'm assuming it's been colored as opposed to there being some sort of mother of pearl that is.
I mean, in the New York Harbor has a lot lot we have no idea what color of oysters might be coming out of there.
And you don't want to check. Let Oris do that. Check in New York oysters so you don't have
potato chip case backing grade.
This looks like a KFC bucket, you know, when it's just 3 pieces of
hot 3-piece oyster meal.
Pieces of chicken. It is a very strange design. You'd think maybe a picture of New York Harbor would be more instantly understood.
Actually, no,
there'd be a body floating in it.
just a face down, an oil drum with some mafioso standing next to it.
Just some shopping carts floating around in the case.
Hey, there's a shopping center. This is like an urban myth. Well, it might be true. Near here, a very large shopping centre near Glasgow that was built in an area south of Glasgow that effectively had no name, and the name it did have was like it was known as being a bit of a bad area of Glasgow. But the shopping centre is called Silverburn, and it's apparently called that because when they originally visited the site to scope it out, there's a little burn that runs down, and there was a whole load of shopping trolleys in it, so they called it Silverburn because of the shopping trolleys. There we go. There's a bit of Glaswegian myth for you. Oris as a brand, I think it's been struggling recently. Is it showing any signs of turning around? Is it a buy, a hold, or a sell?
Hey, they figured out not to put their in-house movement in here and charge too much for it.
I mean, they're still charging too much for it, but they haven't put
not as much too much.
what has happened to the Oris in-house movement? Have they just
No,
quietly parked it?
it's still around, but their price point has already got for baseline models with the Sellita has gotten so high that I think they're being a little more selective. Instead of having like, oh, that's like a $3,500 one, but it has their in-house movement. I think this is priced at like $3,000. And yeah, it's got a mother of pearl dial or whatever, but like, could you imagine if they put the in-house in it? What is it, 5, 6? Like, just go buy a Tudor.
Formex is creeping up on them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we look at the watch we just looked at, and then with a Meteorite. So they both have exotic dials. The Formex gives you a bracelet. It gives you. Is this chronometer certified at least?
Probably not.
Okay, so the Formex is chronometer certified as well. It gets that fancy.
I'm just saying the question is how valuable is the Oris brand? I mean, I think that's the question that we're asking. Yeah, they make a decent watch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
is it a brand people are worth paying for, and I don't know that people. I mean, the Parber thing. I don't know if that adds a ton of brand value.
No, it's kind of like Seiko. People like them because it was a good watch and a strong value for the money, but there is that limit when people start eyeing other more prestigious brands. A brand like Rolex can get away with a lot in terms of a price point perspective, because at least here in the United States, that is the end all be all most famous luxury watch to the average person. Before they say Omega or AP or anything, they're probably going to say Rolex. That just isn't true for Oris. But when you could get a standard Sellita Oris for under $2,000 or hunt around on Joma Shop and get one for like $1,500-$1,600, that's a categorically different purchase than like a $3,000 Aquis on a rubber strap. And so I just don't know if the brand has that type of cachet, even if the watches themselves now are, in my opinion, better than they've ever been. All the new generations are better than the old generation, but like, is it $3,000 better? Oh, I don't know,
Yeah. Is Oris just the first brand to realize that the cachet in having your own in-house movement isn't actually worth all the effort they put into it?
Definitely not the first brand.
Not the first brand. The first brand of their size. I mean, obviously, I assume they spent a shed load of money proportionally to the size of the organization in creating their in-house movement, and then they've
Well,
gone,
you know who also went this route?
Zeitgeist is past. Bremen.
Well, I was going to say Tutima.
Right.
Tutima, I think they're gonna. In fact, I know I just spoke to them, but like, they got derailed for almost a decade because they were like, "Hey, let's make in-house movements with gold cases that are classic looking," and they're like, "No, that's not what people wanted at all from them." So that's, I don't know if they're similar size, maybe a little bit smaller, but that ruined it for them for a lot of people.
Yeah, Stephen McDonald's apparently still in the wing somewhere making an in-house movement for Bremen, but who knows where it is.
Although I will say this about those gold case Tutimas with the in-house movement, they were really lovely. Like, if you get a chance to handle one of those chrono stop with 2 Ps, beautiful, beautiful watch. So unlike Tutima, and I think that's the problem. But like, it's a great watch. But again, that's not what people were looking to the brand for, and that's why, as Ariel mentioned, it was a long-term kind of problematic issue. People look to brands for specific things, and I just don't know if like a mid 4-figure watch was necessarily what people looked for Oris for their bread and butter.
Yeah, Chives in the chat. Oris in-house hits the Tudor problem, which I assume is reference. What did Tudor do? In-house movements. Does it really bring that much to the brand?
But the Tudors weren't that much more. When the Black Bays jumped up from like an Etta to an in-house, it was more, but I wasn't gawking at the price being like, well, that's a lot to pay for an extra day of power reserve. It was more, but not what we're seeing now. And the same thing with the master chronometer cert stuff. It's a little bit more, but we're talking like a delta of hundreds of dollars, not like a $4,500 Aquis.
Yeah.
I think the challenge. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
I would say the challenge for Oris is they had this huge desire to be like a big, desirable brand. We want more people to like us. We want to increase our value proposition. And what the market said is, no, we don't want to spend more for you. We don't think fundamentally as a brand you're worth more than that. We liked you at one point, but you're not offering us an image, a reputation, a style, or whatever to merit that. We don't care if you have an in-house movement. Stop asking us to subsidize that. We never asked for that. And there are legitimate some brands that can increase their price and keep going because they actually are undervalued in terms of what they could spend. But then there's other brands that are totally tone deaf, like Oris, that thought they could go up in price, but never asked anyone. It's like you want to hang out at baseball games eating hot dogs with people, but you're charging like, I don't know, opera prices. I'm guessing operas are more expensive. Maybe they're not. You know the point.
Yeah. So Chives is clarified because he likes doing that. Yeah, all this in house, you're getting into Tudor territory. So what are you going to buy? You're going to buy Baby Rolex, or you're going to buy an Oris, and I think that seems to be the general issue with any brand that tries to produce its own in-house movement.
Well, I mean, also at that price point, if you want to hunt around on the pre-owned market, get on eBay. You're going to see like used Rolex and like other stuff, and the used Omega, all sorts of stuff in that territory as well. This isn't like a affordable Swiss watch anymore. There's scores of brands at retail that are in that level, and if you want to go hunt around for a good deal, like pretty much all the big names outside of the high-end luxury, you can get a model from them at around $3-4 grand.
Okay, right. It's time for this week's What You Like. Last week, some categories were suggested. Car brands that no longer exist, or in the case of Jaguar, brands that may soon no longer exist. So first up, and we'll put some nice images of Saabs. They did make a nice looking car, different car. Do you like a Saab Turbo, 95 Turbo? Very nice.
Yeah.
So the question posed then is, which watch brand is most like a Saab? Any thoughts, gentlemen?
I will have to put my mind to it.
Or
maybe Tutima, Caesarea mentioned it, but that's pretty close. I mean, it's not Swedish, of course, but
they do have that quirky look to
basically,
them.
Yeah,
Quirky
it's up there,
functional.
over-engineered, underappreciated, not very popular, but those who have it love it.
Yeah,
Tutima is a great one because Saab likes to always say born from jets, and Tutima really does have a legitimate tool watch heritage as well, regardless of all the other directions they've gone
and
in.
from aviation.
Yeah,
I was thinking on the whole over-engineer thing for no good reason. Grand Seiko, spring drive, all the rest of it. Let's just invent a completely different way of doing this, just for the sake of it.
No, not Euro enough.
No,
yeah,
true. Who's the most over-engineered?
There's got to be some
Swiss
quirky French watch.
Oh,
like a Pequonet or something like that.
What's the one with the bullpup? Bullpup? No, that's types of guns.
What?
The
bullhead?
crown on the bullhead. What's the bullhead brand that comes out of France? That's not
bullhead brand that comes out of France.
Is that not French?
A lot of watches have bullhead. There's those quirky Hugans with the bullhead.
Yeah, no, there's this very specific brand that's known for its
French bulls.
Yeah, bullhead watches. I'll come back to maybe it is Yema actually. They're not French, are they?
They're French.
French. Are they French?
They're French.
Yeah. Okay.
You can Yema this one.
Yema then. So any advance on brands for the Saab? No.
Yeah, it has to be something niche and over-engineered, and over a course of decades, not just 2 over-engineered watches, but this approach has to prevail through decades. God, I miss these cars. I mean, look how dignified they are compared to the soapboxes today.
I'm thinking because they always had like weird engines with like 5 cylinders when everyone had 4 or 6 cylinders. Like you want maybe like Omegas with the 3.5 hertz. Those movements.
Yeah.
Like just slightly different for no really good reason.
No real good reason at all.
Oh, the engineers had a good reason, but they couldn't explain it to marketing, and then the whole thing just went out.
This is like the Omega DeVille.
Okay, the Omega DeVille what?
The whole family.
That's good. That's good. Yes, the DeVille. If we narrow it down to the DeVille, then maybe.
That's fine. Okay, the Omega.
There were some hilarious over-engineered DeVilles. That's right, with the 5 sub-dials and all the rest.
I think that's where they introduced the coaxial, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a winner. That's a winner there. So our next
good call on the DeVille.
Our next brand was TVR. TVR cars. Let's get some images of TVR.
Oh, it has to be something Russian and borderline out of business. It's going to be like not what's the other brand of Frank Muller? The not the Vanguard. That Custos, yeah. This is a Custos right there.
Custos. TVR engineered by Gordon Murray Design. There you go. Who knew? I was thinking it was more like
It's too elegant for a Custa.
No. But this is the new TVR. Look up the something Chimera. The
they were
Chimera
or they got here.
Well, I was thinking more like it was an HYT. It looked like a really good idea at the time, but was guaranteed just to be found broken down at the side.
Just by virtue of the new TVR, you could say the new HYT. They've been through multiple different iterations in the last.
And they both 3-letter names.
Yeah.
HYT. Maybe that's the only common thing.
If you smash both, the liquid will spill.
They leak. They both leak often.
There's a video on TVR. We're back to the jizz bar, right? Anyway, the TVR Rebirth, the spirit of driving. It's going okay. The spirit of driving.
TVR DNA sounds like a disease.
We still haven't seen a car.
I have a bad case of TVR.
I have a bad case of this is the same team that marketed the Jaguar. Right, we are 23 seconds in, still no sign of a car.
The government gave me TVR.
Yeah,
TVR sounds like a public access television channel. What was on TVR? Oh, it was the meetings.
Rural Scotland. I'm watching TVR, honey.
TV rural.
Turn it down.
They appear to be making this TVR out of gaffer tape, which the irony is possibly.
You can do everything with duct tape. Okay, that's been well established.
And if you have a banana, you can make millions. Apparently, if you have duct tape and a banana.
Yeah, they literally are building this picture out of cutting duct tape.
That's why is this on their website? Yeah, this is not automotive related at all.
They're not
because
building.
They couldn't afford to make a car. This is the only thing they could afford.
How many artists does it take to do one college student's work? Why are they doing it like that? It's so effort intensive.
It's TVR, hand built, hand sellotaped for your pleasure. Right.
Artisanal for no reason.
Artisanal for no reason. Right. So
I mean, the AC breaks in the building, it just starts peeling off the
built
wall.
Worse by hand.
So did we decide what TVR, which brand
I think HYT was a good one.
HYT.
I think Custos is better.
Maybe.
Custos, HYT.
Let it both have it. Come on.
The engineered by is very Custos, where it
doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if there is for our final one, although Jaguar gets an honorable mention. I'm trying to find an Oldsmobile collector's website. I know nothing about it, but that was David's final
Please don't bring me back to my childhood.
Oldsmobile. Bonham Cars.
The opposite of Playmobil. You have Playmobil when you're young and Oldsmobile when you're old.
Okay, so we're on the Bonham's Cars website. I have no idea if this is representative of Oldsmobile or not. 7.5 liter Tornado Coupe. So we're looking for something that has, well, it's possibly got power reserve. Is it power? We need something that Hublot, the Hublot Ferrari thing that's got like 14 weeks of power reserve or something. You have to wind
This
up.
is not representative of I think what most people think of an Oldsmobile.
Is it not? Right. I have no idea. If somebody would like to suggest
this is like the best Oldsmobile I've ever seen.
Okay, let's go.
I'm actively searching for like the Oldsmobile I had to be in. Okay.
Find something with an old woman from Florida in it.
Yeah, it's more of the
Does
car.
This count? Revhead's Oldsmobile. I'm not sure she's an old woman from Florida. Definitely looks like a woman from Florida. Tell me when to stop. At what
driving the worst car in America? Scroll up a little bit. That's what you want.
All right.
Yep. There it is.
Motor there we go. Motor One.
Yes. Who made the worst watch? Not in America, but in from the luxury watch, from this era, 70s, 80s, 90s worst watch we can think of.
Oh, surely it's got to be anything that Cherry Taft got hold of at Zenith. No.
But that's more like 2000s. But
all right, okay.
I'm just not sure from the 90s or the 80s.
For Oldsmobile being suggested.
Modern Hublot's great. Early Hublot had some pretty questionable pieces that rolled out the front door.
The MDM Genève of the word. Yeah.
Okay, I think I figured out what Oldsmobile it is. I'm not going to share it with you guys.
Okay, hold on.
That had to be
America. Send us.
Are we still looking? We're still thinking about the watch to go with this.
Okay. Yeah, watch to go with it. But if you send us in the chat what your
Patek Philippe
is. Patek.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. That's a winner. That is.
Wearing a Patek ellipse in this would just break the world. You know, this is designed by a ruler that was designed by just a freehand.
Half their catalog is designed by someone that drove this car. I mean, come on.
Patek ellipse.
Similar to the Cubitus, this is also very.
They have so many models in their history that perfectly fit this interior.
The
Oldsmobile Cubitus also does.
Yeah. Cubitus.
The ellipse, the Calatrava.
Look at that. Look at the D. Again, somebody that puts something really obvious, like automatic or something on their watch.
I remember. Yeah, the hood.
I can hear that engine from all the way from here. I mean, it's like the clatter, like clatter.
The engine from the 1970s.
The least smooth diesel engine in the world.
So look up the 1980s Oldsmobile Delta 88. Yeah, something like that in gray.
80s Oldsmobile.
That's a Delta 88, I'm pretty sure. So imagine a gray version of that. I had to be dropped off at school and picked up in that. Into the 90s, mind you.
I think I might have found this. Is this?
That explains a lot. I mean, this could traumatize you for life.
Is this?
My father was trying to hold on to a family member. Yeah, imagine that in like an ugly fading gray. I had to. Okay. That's the first thing I drove. That's the first thing that I drove.
And it's been downhill.
If you can drive that, you can drive any mid-size boat.
Is the steering wheel like this, and the car is still going straight? I imagine
it was. Yeah. My father likened it to driving a block of Jello.
Yeah, which it totally is. I'm sure if you turn the wheel, the car tilts first and then starts turning.
So much tilt. I have not since then had so much yaw in a car. Today the suspension's so great, but like you'd really just dive into the turn.
Yeah, you know how some cars have like G-force meters in it. This has like one of those.
Oh man! And even on a straightaway, it was like it's like riding a couch. Oh yeah, the top would come off. Good old Landau top. Oh gosh.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah. So the Patek.
Yeah. There's that instrument gauge.
Diesel fuel only.
What's the
No, they were not all diesel, but they all had that weird vertical thing. Oh gosh.
The speedo goes up to 75 miles an hour. That's like that's
okay.
Low.
So here's what you need to do. You see
also
the ceiling?
Optimistic for that car.
You see the ceiling of the car? The cloth would hang, so it would separate, and it would all start to hang down like spider web. It was horrible. Oh god, these interiors were so bad they would decompose. That was the worst thing about the American cars. The interiors, no, they would just come apart in the worst way.
I love aging and dying. There we go.
That's a sticker on the car. Look at that engine bay. Oh my!
And this whole carburetor.
This whole thing is just it's odd.
So one-cylinder diesel.
I think what makes it particularly sad is that, to my eyes, it appears as though they had high hopes for this, and as though they had tried, and the whole thing just failed.
This
on
was
every
considered
level.
Classy, David. This was a classy family vehicle.
I'm not
this
saying
wanted
it was
to be a
classless,
Cadillac.
Yeah.
Or a Lincoln.
Yeah. Diesel engine starting procedure. I have to take a
instructions. Okay, please,
yeah, you did not want a diesel from this era. The
of you.
Oh no, you did not want a diesel.
Go to the YouTube channel and see the diesel engine starting procedure. Has there ever been a watch that's come with such basic instructions?
Yes, Bell and Ross. Do not unscrew.
Do not unscrew. It's the Bell and Ross.
That's a good. Yeah, and that's also square. So I guess that works.
Boom.
Yep. Bell and Ross.
BR1.
Yes.
BR1.
Rossmobile.
Excellent. Good stuff. Right. Where on earth are we
won this one.
From this?
But we know cars, right? We know cars.
We need suggestions for next week. So next week's watch do you like?
This is
Where
fun.
should we go? Books? More car? I don't want to go to like famous
unhealthy
cars.
beverages.
Unhealthy beverages.
Unhealthy
I
beverages,
like that.
Yes.
Suggest me your most unhealthy beverage.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, the Mountain
But
Dew.
it has to be
vodka
like some special edition of Mountain Dew that tastes like blue or
Sure.
something.
Choose your
Baja Blast. That's probably the most.
Baja
Most
Blast.
obnoxious.
It
Wow,
started as
Ripley
a taco-
even knows them.
It started as a
Yeah.
Taco Bell exclusive before becoming more available. We also have Code Red. That is also a popular Mountain Dew one.
Okay,
I know my-
Infinite Swirl.
I know my Mountain Dews, more caffeine than coffee, and it's radioactive, so it will
Okay,
give
so
you
Mountain
superpowers if you drink enough of it.
Mountain Dew's one brand. David, give me a suggestion. What is the horrible drink of choice, the most dangerous drink of choice in Hungary? There must be some moonshine brewed somewhere.
Yeah, if it can have alcohol in it, then yes, you
Yeah,
can.
alcohol, yeah.
There was one that said
David's just like, oh!
yeah, I remember there was
David's
one that,
woken up.
literally said, these are called like little rockets when they are like the size of a larger bullet, basically, and it's just a
Okay.
shot of like some terrible mixed up alcohol that is basically only good for defrosting your windows. And one of those said that it was a sailor taste. So for some reason it tasted like a sailor
No,
in
Okay.
Hungarian, but that's what it said.
Absolutely,
And it
not
was
out of my mouth.
it was like
No.
basically like $1.50 or something like this.
Now served
So
at the
that's-
Jizz
it's
Bar.
quite bad.
Not even at
yeah,
the crazy hours.
we
Jizz Bar,
do not
we go in for
tell.
the
Yeah, you
sailor
can
flavor.
only get at the Jizz Bar, and those were
Not tell
basically
Frank Miller.
there. So the sailor tasting alcoholic
Sailor
drink.
So you've got to find out what it's
Because
called.
It was so bad they were not allowed to call it vodka or palinka or some
okay.
other thing that
Tastes
has
What
the
was
some
the
legal
flavor
requirements.
they were even aiming for? Like
I never tried
salt
it.
and must,
I never manned up to it.
vinegar. I don't know.
Oh, a classic has been suggested
Four
in the
Loko.
chat from Boris. It's Buckfast. Any
have
gentlemen
no
here
idea
familiar
what
with
that
No
is.
idea what
Buckfast?
that is.
Okay, well you can research Buckfast. So Buckfast is
Buckfast.
in.
It sounds like
sailor
something you shoot
tasting
out of a
drink.
shotgun.
Yeah, Ripley suggestion of
Four
bad for you drink.
Loco. Well,
Four
caffeine.
Loko.
Before it was made illegal
yeah,
and they had to
it's been-
change the recipe. It had a ton of
been
caffeine
suggested,
and
yeah.
alcohol.
Four Loko. Who makes Four Loko, or is that the brand itself?
Well, I think that's the brand.
I don't know, a crime syndicate?
Yeah, Staten. I don't know.
Frank Miller. Right, okay, so we have Mountain Dew, Baja Blast, some sailor drink that David's going to investigate, Buckfast, tonic wine, and Four Loko. David's the way to investigate sailors. Along
Yeah,
with Frank
David, you're gonna
Miller.
have to give us the name of this. I'm not gonna just search like
I'm
sailor
not-
flavored Hungarian beverage.
I'm going to get
Look
a
at
phone
this.
call.
I'm
I'm already
sending
getting a
you-
phone call from my IT department asking me what you've been searching after the show. So I'm
O-
not
op-
typing
open the
back.
link I just sent. It's just a
Open
picture,
the
but
link.
it will
Right,
give you
okay.
a good idea. On, you would
I
never
was-
drink that.
I'm afraid.
I'm trying to find it.
You should be. It's literally just for
should be.
defrosting windows. That's all it is.
Right, I'm opening the link now. Oh, Matros.
Matros
Right,
is sailor in Hungarian.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, every day's a school day. There we go.
Look at that.
There we go.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's basically a full day's meal. So basically, you start with the small one, and then you end your day with the small one, and you just work through your day like that.
I like how there's two versions of the small bottle. Like they're slightly different.
There's a
Yes.
slightly chubby one, a small one. Brilliant. Okay.
This is like wild stuff, you know.
Right. Okay.
It's not for beginners.
Let's, as we bring our show to some sort of really random conclusion, let's go on to Hit Miss Maybe. Ariel, let's start as we are supposed to do in this. But no sponsor yet for Hit Miss Maybe. If somebody wants to sponsor Hit Miss Maybe, just as long as you know our views are not for sale. Hit Miss Maybe, Ariel, what are you wearing and where are you?
Wait, what?
Well,
This
we
isn't
always
the
have to
hit
say
miss
what.
maybe I'm used to.
No.
Are we judging each other?
We go around the room and we say, "What are you wearing in your wrist first?" It's just I normally forget. to
I'm
do
wearing
that
a Porsche design
bit. Ooh,
watch,
very nice.
all
Cool.
titanium, of course, because that's what
Very
Porsche
nice.
design only makes. I had
Mhm.
dinner with the guy in charge of their timepiece division tonight, so I'm
Mhm.
quite excited about that. They're going through a major shift, but
Mhm.
what's so weird to me is that Porsche apparently has decided that timepieces need to be like as important a pillar as cars.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Those are just words.
Well, that is, but they're putting a heck of a lot of money into it and making their own movements and a new factory and stuff like that.
Oh my
And
god!
it actually comes, if I understand correctly, from a worry that 20 years from now, the brand needs to maintain as people don't buy cars they drive. So these companies are already thinking about a post you buy a car to drive versus being driven in world.
No
Is
way.
this like Saudi Arabia trying to get out of oil by buying all the sports teams and franchises in the world? We need to
It's not
diversify.
as poorly conceived, but I mean, it is a venture, the outcome of which is not yet known.
Did you understand that digital watches exist and that if folk are going to not drive, they maybe don't also want a mechanical watch? They would just...
No, you're going to be driven around in your fully electronic machine, staring at and appreciating your fully mechanical watch.
Right, okay, that's good. Like that idea. David, what's on the desk? Because it's probably not on your wrist.
Actually, nothing. I'm sitting in the middle of this mess since I'm still renovating. So I
noticed you've added a picture beside the book. I think that's what we need to do every week. Every week, David adds something else to the shelf. What's on David's shelf?
That's an old ad. I have this friend here in Budapest who collects old actual ads, and he knows which magazines these were in, and he buys the magazines and then he cuts them out. So that's an actual original Nautilus ad from 1975 from a National Geographic, and he frames.
Would you put up an original Oldsmobile ad?
Oh, 100%. He also collects car ads as well. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good, David.
What we want is some of those inappropriate IWC ads from when were they, 1980?
Oh, he has those too. Yeah. He has like 4 huge folders full of beautifully cataloged ads. So he's super into it.
Cool. Well, so next week you need to add something to the shelf for discussion. So that's your job.
Yeah.
Watches his past. It's what's on David's shelf. Ripley, who are you repping and what are you wearing?
I washed all of the other Blog to Watch shirts, so I'm wearing the same one as last week. I'm sorry about that. It's the black Genta bezel one, a Brodinky hat, and on the wrist is the Vostra Vector Mecha Quartz chronograph.
Cool.
Mecha Quartz.
Mecha Quartz. I'm in Scotland wearing a Panerai. Right. So first up this week on Hit Miss, maybe let's have a look at this. The Chrono Swiss Resec Snake manufacturer. Chrono Swiss, who wants to give us an intro to Chrono Swiss and what they're all about? Ariel, feels like you might know a bit about Chrono Swiss.
Well, they started not being Swiss or making chronographs, so they thought this would be the greatest term. They still don't make any chronographs right now. No, they have the Opus. They have the Opus one that has a chronograph. Yeah. They definitely like experimenting with colors now. This has worked a lot for them. So for many years, they've had regulator style displays as being their thing. And then they sort of said, let's go around that, but colors are here to stay. And what the brand is trying to do right now is combine a combination of things for a niche customer, some classicism, a bold wearing experience, which means the colors, a love of the decorative arts that watchmaking has often used. So this is guilloche, colored guilloche. With it's got a movement made for them by Le Jeu Perret, so it's a good movement, not their own. But this is an interesting assortment of things, and it's kind of like, we saw, we're laughing about the Frank Muller thing with the loud jacket. This is like the loud jacket of watches, maybe not as loud. And these are definitely fun, not for all occasions, but I don't know. I enjoy wearing these, and again, with the actual watchmaking sign is legitimate. There's my explanation.
No, they're fun watches for sure. Not sure. Are they wearable? Like,
yeah, they're pretty comfortable.
But can you wear it more than once, or do you look at it and go, okay, that was a good idea for that particular?
I mean, I think the thing is they're waiting for you to find the color combination that works for you. Like,
right, okay.
Like I've seen some where I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome, and I see others I'm like, I'm not into that. But again, these are made in such small quantities that you clicked away there, but I wasn't exactly sure what the limited edition amount is. I'm guessing it's not a lot of watches.
No, it's not a lot. Yeah, as you can see, I'm on the website now. There's quite a lot of variety. You can pretty much get it. Oh, blimey, there are some The Flying Tourbillon Psycho watch, yeah, probably says it all. So, what do we need to know about this particular model that's of any
Snakes.
significance? Snakes. What has it to do with snakes?
It's green. The guilloche looks a little scaly.
Pattern.
They make a bunch of different colors of these, and they'll often have themes. This one's theme is snakes, so they give it
This
all.
has the retrograde seconds hands for all your retrograde dreams.
Grade needs. It's a limited edition of 100 by the looks of it. This is number 15 of 100. Okay, well, yeah, I think it's a first impressions watch. You're either going to like it or not. Now, before we do hit Miss Maybe, Ariel, we've got some thanks to give because we have new signs. We have new signs.
Only some of us have printed them out so far.
Right, okay. Have you not got a printer?
But I want to thank Pierre Michel for these beautiful designs, and we're going to be using these as our hit Miss Maybe cards when we've all printed them out, which I have not yet because I have to go to a special place to get it on fancy cards. So I can't, it's not flopping around.
See, mine is on non-fancy card, but they are in these plastic sleeves that had recipes of my fiance's previously in them. So
you had special tools allowing you to bypass this problem.
I did.
I think these would look great with an advert on them. You don't think somebody advertising just along here? Frank Mueller, perhaps.
What about Mountain Dew?
Oldsmobile.
Maybe we should just.
They no longer are in operation.
I would very much like a Mountain Dew sponsor.
I think we should just put our own adverts on them each week. I think we need to personalize them. So I think you need to.
Here's the thing: we should each have a product, not a watch.
Exactly.
But the audience can decide. We all will become the entrepreneur of your choice.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
You tell us what our businesses are going to be and what you want to buy from us or what service you want us to provide you.
Yeah.
And it has to fit our personalities.
I will be on OnlyFans.
Okay, so yes, do email podcast at ablogtowatch.com or hit us up in the chat on either Spotify, YouTube, wherever you find us, or hit us up on Instagram. I've done this already. Ariel, what's your Instagram account?
Ariel to watch.
Ariel to watch. David, who's no longer on Instagram because he's been shamed because of his underscore. But what is your Instagram nonetheless?
The underscore made me leave Instagram, and also did the terrible algorithm. It's ABTW_David.
There we go. And Ripley?
Ripley.sellers.
Ripley.7. I'm at Rick TikTok. So you can hit us up there as well, although not David because he will be checking his Instagram. If you would like to suggest a particular brand you think it would be appropriate for each of us to have on our Hit Miss Maybe signage, do get in touch. I'm assuming if I go to the chat now, we're already going to start seeing some of the stupid suggestions. But we'll take it from there. So this Chrono Swiss, is it a hit, a miss, or a maybe? With our new signage, 1, 2, 3, go.
Maybes. My signage looks so bad by comparison.
Your signage looks so bad. So
maybe.
And 2 hits. Right. Why, Ariel? Why?
I like other versions of this watch. This retrograde regulator movement is a bit too much ours for me. So I like a little bit more simple of a Chrono Swiss. I like the case. I think the colors, while not for me, I love that they do the full case colors. It's fine. It's just not the specific version for me. They make plenty of other things. The maybe is a slightly different version as I might be into. I think the white strap is a bit, it's like not correct. Like, why not a green strap? Maybe it's hard to find, but white feels like, oh, we had that color. So that's the glaring thing for me that like is missing here is the strap color.
Okay. David?
I gave it a hit. I very much like the way that it is. It's very much its own thing. I'm happy it exists. It's brave. It's bold. It's, they have not pulled any punches here. So I really appreciate that, even though it's not for me.
Yeah. Ripley?
I said it's a hit. Similar to Ariel, I think if I had carte blanche and could buy my own one, I'd probably choose a different colorway. Although green's my favorite color, I think this looks quite nice. And although it might not be as catchy or interesting as like the Psycho Tourbillon version, this is a fully colored watch that isn't overbearing in just, it's not obnoxious. It's all green and blue and whatever, and it's got a little orange, but it's not, this is like a way to indulge in this sort of fully colored, all PVD aesthetic without just going nuts and it looks like a Crayola box.
Yeah, I quite like it, but not enough to ever consider buying it. I think there are better looking, more together colorways from Chronoswiss in this. I think the white is a little bit of an odd choice for the strap. So yeah, it's just a maybe from me. Right, let's go on to something else. Let's have a look at this. The Roger Dubuis Excalibur Spider Flyback Chronograph watch in pink gold, because what you really need was a pink gold version of this watch. I'm sure we've all been dying, just waiting for the pink gold version. I do like Roger Dubuis watches. They wear really, really well, despite the fact that some of them look absolutely atrocious. They're all very comfortable. Experiences with Roger Dubuis, Ariel?
So do you want me to tell you my thoughts already? Because I'm ready to give opinions.
Well, we can go straight to hit miss. We can go straight to instant reaction hit miss. Maybe I am fine with that.
Yeah.
So let's just do that. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Or is it maybe 1, 2, 3 go? It's a hit. It's a hit. It's a maybe from Ripley. Right then, go Ariel.
Okay, so I had to give a hit, and I'll give you the reason. Several weeks ago, I was with Ripley and we were at a Roger Dubuis event, and I saw a different version of this watch, and I thought to myself, can't they just make it in gold? Like, it's some weird sharp carbon material that I don't really want in this shape, because see, the case is so complicated that when you have it in these kind of more brittle materials, the edges don't really feel great, but like in the metal, it really does. So I just kept thinking to myself, like, okay, could you just make it out of gold? And then boom, here they have it in gold. So I feel very obliged to say I like it. It's one of the weirdest high-end chronographs on the market, frankly, because I'm not sure how to read it or what it does, but I still think it looks cool. You know, and it's not that complicated once you get down to it. You're like, oh, okay, that doesn't really need to be there. But it's sort of like the car that performs far more than you'll ever need it to. And I want to take this watch and do something so mundane, like go to the shopping market at night where nobody will see it. Or something like that. So I love the ostentation. Oh wow, 135. I mean, it's oddly, it's like a sensible Richard Mille in some weird way.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. David?
I mean, it's balanced. There's a whole bunch of things going on. It's almost a rule at this point that you are not allowed to distinguish the hands from the background at a single glance. But I guess that's normal for the brand. I like it. It's a watch turned up to 11. It looks like one of those crazy Lamborghinis or whatever. When it's a little bit larpular. It's just for itself, but at the same time, it's entertaining and it's fun and it's bonkers. So yeah, quite like this.
Is 135,000 an unrealistic price for this? If this was a Richard Mille, would it be $500,000?
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
I mean, let's not do these type of comparisons, okay? I mean, I'm just, I don't even have a good analogy here. I'm just saying that's not a good measure of like, oh, but Richard Mille would charge more. They're not. No, that's not anyone's
They would always
standard.
do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Where does this? Because Roger Dubuis is owned by Richemont. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm not sure many people realize that it's actually owned by one of the biggest watch groups. Where on earth does this fit in the world of Richemont?
It doesn't. That's the point.
Yeah, nobody knows.
It's just weird that it's part of a
Look, I like the CEO, but the new CEO just came to Roger Dubuis from the other brand that Richemont doesn't know what to do with, which is Baume & Mercier.
Right, okay.
Oh, that's quite a switch.
That's a move.
Quite a switch.
That's a move.
5 days and cost under $3,000. That's the new Roger Dubuis right there.
Yeah, that's how weird.
The Baumatic. Put the Baumatic in it. They put it on. They put a freaking.
Who did they move? I want to know who they put to Baume & Mercier though. What chess pieces did they move to Baume & Mercier?
Oh, that brand is being. It's going to be put down for a little while.
Okay.
It's never been up, but yeah.
Hey,
okay.
It was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like Baume & Mercier. I like Baume. Yeah.
We all did. We all did.
We all did.
Hey, it's going to make a future great brand revival story. Just think about that.
Ripley.
Jeez.
I said it's a maybe, but I do really like it. It's a maybe leaning towards a hit. I like Roger Dubuis a lot. I think it is sort of like if you want to have a Richard Mille but don't want to be labeled a hype beast and kind of still want that overtly luxury, very well executed, hyper technical, probably some automotive theme. You can get your it scratches that same itch and it does it really, really well. I'm always impressed by their watches. As Ariel mentioned, when you're paying that price point, and especially with this complex case geometry, yeah, if you feel it in precious metals, it's going to feel a lot more impressive. You know, carbon is impressive from a technical standpoint, not necessarily feels impressive unless you're just in shock of how lightweight a watch is. I kind of wish they didn't do so much car tie-ins. I love cars as well, but you know, for a brand like this where it is so expensive, I think it's also important for them to have their identity outside of vehicles and you know, so that people can appreciate the brand on all of its merits. But I do really like this watch. If someone gave it to me, I'd be stoked to wear it. If I had just ample oodles of money, I'd also probably buy it and just try to figure out how to read it. But I do like it a lot.
They look ridiculous. They look even more ridiculous in the shop window. But see if you go and actually try one on and you go, you know what? That's actually really nice. They have a bizarre chimeric effect when you actually try them on. You go, hey, you know what? I can pull this off. Whereas when you look at them in the window, you're like, no, there's no way I can pull it. But you actually try them on, you go, that's really nice.
Will you take off your Panerai for a good deal on the Roger Dubuis?
A good deal on the Roger Dubuis, and I will swap out my Panerai. Which Roger Dubuis do you think would be most suitable for a Panerai wearer? Let's go to the brand's website and see what else they've got to offer. Roger Dubuis, official Swiss luxury.
Rick, you have a Lamborghini Tractor, no?
I do have a Lamborghini.
Well, okay,
Tractor.
we already know where to start.
Yeah, so where's
that's awesome.
Is that because Jeremy Clarkson got one?
I got mine first. He got his because of mine, not the other way around.
Okay.
What a copycat.
At least,
you have to convince Roger Dubuis to make you a Lamborghini Tractor watch.
Yeah, it needs to be in that kind of cream color that Lamborghini Tractor, old-fashioned Lamborghini Tractors are in.
And then the rotor on the case back can just be a giant tractor rim. It won't be as pretty as what they have in these, but it would be accurate.
Well, my Lamborghini
the Excalibur cultivator.
Yeah. So my Lamborghini Tractor has the rear tires filled with water, so to weigh it down. So I think is there some complication?
Is that just because you have more water than air over there in Scotland?
Yeah, that's it. We've got to store it somewhere, so we store it in the tires of all our motor vehicles. So which, the Cobalt, yeah, there's some. They're all nice, to be fair. If you ever try them on, so yes, I highly recommend if you ever get the opportunity to try a Roger Dubuis, then go for it. Right, finally for this hit miss, maybe we have something that Ripley has handled. The Loki Pacific Coast Highway Watch. Tell us about this, Ripley, before we judge it.
These are cool. It's a brand, SoCal brand. It's their inaugural collection. It's called the Pacific Coast PCH, Pacific Coast Highway. For those who aren't familiar with California, that's the nice highway, probably our nicest one that runs up and down the coast. Really pretty. There's 3 models. Each one's named after a place. There's the Big Sur, the Monterey Bay, and the Surfrider Beach. They all have different dials, but they're otherwise the same as far as their general design and case and everything. 10% of revenue from the brand goes to is donated to nonprofits that are specifically helping these places that serve as their inspiration. And the whole brand's supposed to just kind of raise awareness for these places, which are home to a lot of threatened species and all of that. So it's one of those brands with a good mission, but it's also kind of a pretty cool watch. It's not modern, not vintage in its appearance. Wears really, really nicely. It's very comfortable. And then they make them in quartz and automatic. So Swiss movements, it's either going to be a Ronda or your standard ETA, but the rest of the watch is the same. So you're free to just choose the price point or movement you like. All 3 dials are available with both. But I liked it. I found it to be incredibly comfortable with the rubber strap. Interesting watch, and they're all assembled in the United States as well, so that's cool. It also on brand with the brand itself. I like these. Really cool watch, but also not one you're probably going to see in the wild all that often unless you're at like the LA Microlux type of shows or Intersect and whatnot.
Okay, cool. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Or is it a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. Maybe hit. Maybe hit. Ariel, why is it a maybe?
I mean, a lot of benefit for it saying the name of a highway that I drive near where I live, and it's a brand from around here, so that's a good thing. I don't quite understand the design. I think I'd have to spend more time with it. Ripley definitely has. I mean, it has some nice elements at first. I feel like the designer just took a bunch of stuff that he liked and just started to throw it together. And I think that a more refined design starts to ask a lot of questions. Why? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? I mean, the dial kind of looks like an ocean. That's cool. It's got different levels. I'm not sure if I understand that. I want to know more of the story about the case shape. Um, it's distinctive enough that if you were like friends with this guy or you supported something, you could wear it. It would show you so you're part of a group. It's legible. I just, as someone who's seen a lot of things, no one thing strikes me as interesting aside from the fact that it says Pacific Coast Highway, which is cool and nearby. So I think that I'm open-minded, but again, since this is sort of my neck of the woods, I want to understand exactly how serious they are.
David?
I gave it a hit just because within the realms of its niche, I think it's a hit. It's just within the confines of that. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I like it. Ripley, you're concluding.
Yeah, I gave it a hit. Little things that like nitpicks, like the crown sticks out quite far, but you don't really feel it just because the way it sits on the wrist, which is nice. The case back engraving feels a bit like almost rough. It's just really crisp, but again, you don't feel it when you're wearing the watch at all. But overall, I like it. It does a lot of weird, interesting things, like having the hour marker suspended above that recessed thing. And the price point seems sort of fair. They're like 5 something and with quartz, or like 8 something if you want to get the Swiss automatic version. But good mission, interesting brand. I'm curious to see what they're going to do next.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm just not convinced by the second hand. The color of the second hand just doesn't seem to work for some reason. It's not on the same palette as the rest of the blues.
Yeah, that's a
or
good
the
point.
whites. It's just doesn't. It's just its own thing, which is fine. It means it's very legible. But yeah, it clashes a bit too much. That they need to change the color of that hand. But there we go. Grand. That is us for our show this week. Although we do have a new game to play for next week, if you care to investigate. And this might be a tricky one, so it might not be played this very often. Do you know what a Google Whack is?
I think so.
So, as I understood it, a Google Whack was if you put a topic into Google and it only brought back one single result. And in the Blog to Watch WhatsApp chat, if you want to join it, you need to message us and we'll read you in. We were talking about gold watches, and I posted my favorite gold watch, which was a solid gold Planet Ocean chronograph from whenever it was, 2005, I think it was. And then somebody searched for it in Chrono 24 and couldn't find any of those watches in Chrono 24. So I thought it'd be an interesting challenge to see if there are any specific watches from big brands. So we don't want something from some micro brand that no one's ever going to resell. Specific, well-known brand watches that actually you can't find any of them for sale on Chrono 93. So we couldn't find the Omega Planet Ocean Solid Gold chronograph GMT, whatever.
And let's draw the line at
Chrono.
no off catalog things. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
there's oodles of piece
So
uniques and stuff you're not going to get.
For all of you real watch geeks, we'll let you off if you manage to find a single version of it.
I was going to say, if there's just one, that's also very cool.
If there's just one, that's also very cool. So if you can find a Google Whack or a Nil Point on Chrono 162, then let us know, and you three have got to try and find that.
I thought a Google Whack was something far
Something you get at the Crazy Hours Jizz Bar in Lisbon.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, I may have got it completely wrong, and actually you're right, and that's not what a Google Whack is, and I've just offended or got the show completely X-rated.
why are we
for no good
giving
reason.
Chrono 27 so much free engagement here?
Well, just because I felt like it. I mean, we could search
Okay.
other websites, but they are. I mean,
I just think it's
eBay.
funny.
We could use eBay if you wanted, but I think eBay is going to be a bit more difficult to navigate, and also
eBay needs to work on
display.
its search function big time.
Yes, the search functionality. But yeah, so if you can use
Oh, has it
Chrono
gotten worse?
1023,
It's never been good.
It's never been good. Then to find us a Google Whack watch, then we will do that for next week. But other than that, that is our show, I think, for this week. We'll hang on a little bit, probably to make more jokes at Frank Miller's expense, which you can find on the Blog to Watch Weekly live channel, but from the version that you're all going to hear in your lovely ears and on the main A Blog to Watch channel. That is us for this week. Goodbye. Cheerio.
Thank you everyone for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Well, I think we managed to just about keep that so that I don't need to put an expletive rating on the recording. But now's your chance to completely go for it so that it really doesn't matter anymore.
I'm just back on eBay looking at watches. You know, you got me doing
So
that.
I already think I know which one. If the full diamond set Breitling Emergency from the first generation, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna.
I think
full
that
iced out bracelet.
Well, I think I've seen one. I think I've got one of them in my save section of Chrono 24.
How much are they asking?
I already
for that
know
bad
not
boy?
to play this game. This is going to be too hard.
Breitling, Emergency. Let's see what we can find. Oh,
Which one are you looking for?
I've not
There was a
spelled
black one with
Breitling correctly.
No, the full diamond bracelet, all white gold, all iced out, giant diamonds.
There was one with black diamonds on it.
Oh God.
I think
Is
you'll
it the
find
black
Black Emergency with black diamonds.
Yeah, I'm looking for. There's definitely one because I'm sure I've got one in my save searches. I'm just trying to
That's
find.
so cool.
It's hard enough to even
yeah.
find a picture of the one I'm thinking of where it's fully iced out. It looks like they've done several of them. Black diamond.
Yeah, I've done a few.
Oh, I found the one you're talking about, the night mission version. Dear God.
Yeah. You see,
So cool.
maybe it counts as a Google Whack if there's only the one. But yeah, I do like the.
It feels like Breitling wouldn't do any of that stuff these days, like at all.
No, because it's tacky and tasteless, and Kern hates it. Nya, 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 nya.
That does sound like his voice.
Good stuff. So there you go. That's your channel. I think that's quite a good game. Chrono 97.
Who's playing this game? Is it us or the audience? I'm so
we're playing it. I'm not sure that the audience will have that much energy to put into it in the way that we discovered that the solution that Ripley and David to Ariel making a choice is for them to go and find things. So rather than presenting them with a list, it's more in the challenge to say, Ariel, go and find the best thing, and he'll go and find it. Whereas if we say, here's a list of 5, choose the best from amongst it. No. It does not compute. Computer says
I
no.
do like searching for things. That is true.
Yeah, exactly. Searching for things. So there we go. That's how
Yeah.
you solve that. Right. Well, you can go and search for that. Anything exciting happening in your lives, watch-wise, in the next week?
We're off to Geneva real soon.
Oh, of course you are. Yes, Geneva. Yes. Geneva Watch Days. Anything particularly exciting in the embargo list? Oh, there's a man carrying a dog.
Well,
Just
the thing
digging
is,
under the
more new brands. That's the amazing thing. Like, despite everything that's going on, people like more new brands, and a lot of it are from people that used to be the CEO of some other brand and works for some other brand, but rather than get another job, they just started another brand. I don't know why this keeps happening. Like, it's easier to get someone to give you money to start a brand than to get hired to work an existing one. That's such a weird business model.
It is. It'll be interesting. How many brands that you're going to see in Geneva Watch Days this coming fortnight are going to be at the next Geneva Watch Days, and what proportion of them are going to have folded? They'll never make it to one, and then the funding will run out.
I have no idea. It's an
We'll let
excellent
you know how
question.
the tariffs go for them, I guess, right?
Yeah, true. Good stuff. Right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into the live show. We will see you all again in a week or so's time. Cheerio. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.